Oh, hey guys, it's me again, your teacher. This time I'm bringing you a new listening and learning unit. It's called immigration. So I decided to do something different with this one. What I have is I have a PowerPoint that I am going to show you first that has the vocabulary words on it. And then I will stop this share and then I'll start the share that has the pictures with the story. So we're learning about immigration. So one thing I want to talk to you guys about is this word. It's called e pluribus unum. E pluribus unum. And it is a Latin word. And a Latin word means that it is an old language that's no longer spoken like normal conversation. So it's a Latin word that means out of many, one. So as we read today's story, I want you guys to think about that phrase, out of many, one, and see how it relates to the theme of immigration, okay? So our first vocabulary word is ancestors. And ancestors are the relatives who came before a person, their parents, and their grandparents. So what we have here for the image is we have like a mom and a dad and who their parents are. So these would be the grandparents, their parents, their grandparents, and up here are the great grandparents. So that is basically, this is a family tree, and that is what your ancestors are. Freedom is the independence or the ability to choose to live one's life or however you want to live your own life. We have immigrate is to enter and make a home in a new country or region. And then we have the push and pull factors as reasons that drive people away something and draw people towards something else. So if you look at this picture over here, something that would push people away from where they're currently living is like climate disasters. Maybe they don't want to, like the farm life thing, or just basically like their general, like maybe they live in the country and they want to live in the city, or vice versa. Maybe they live in the city and they want to move to the country. War is a big reason why people leave, and poverty. And things that may pull people towards a certain region is the healthcare, money, jobs, just the opposite life of what they had before, food, education, and peace. All right, I'm going to stop that share here, and I will pull up our story. Okay, so that phrase, e pluribus unum, it's actually seen on the back of all of our coins. So on the back of the penny, right there it is. On the back of our nickel, it's at the top. On our dime, it's between right there. On our quarter, up top. And on the $50, it's right above the eagle right there. So on all the coins and all the money in America, you will see that phrase, that e pluribus unum. Remember, it means many become one. All right. Let's start our story. Here's a question you may never have asked yourself. Why would someone leave the home he or she knew, travel across a wide, rolling ocean, perhaps under uncomfortable or dangerous conditions, and move to an entirely new country? Why do you think someone would do that? This is one question we have to think about if we're going to understand how the United States of America began and how it has become the country it is today. A nation made up of many different people from many different countries. The United States is sometimes called a country of immigrants. Immigrants are people who leave their home country to settle or to move to a new country. You may have learned about some of the people who have traveled from Europe to the New World. This was long before there was a country called the United States, but there were already people living in North, South, and Central America and on some of the islands in the Caribbean Sea. We use this term Native American to refer to those, like the different Sioux Indian clans that we've already learned about, who were already living in North America before the Europeans arrived. Maybe you remember the Mayan and the Aztec people who lived in Mexico, or the Incas whose empire spread across Peru and Chile and other lands in South America. To these groups, the places where they lived were not new at all, because their ancestors, the relatives who came before them, had lived there for centuries. Europeans traveled to the New World for many different reasons. For example, Christopher Columbus came looking for a shortcut from Europe to Asia. Spanish explorers Spanish explorers came looking for wealth. Later, more people came from Europe that were not just explorers. Some wanted to bring their religion to the people already living here. Some were poor men and women who thought there was a chance to make money to take back to their homeland, where they hoped to lead easier, more comfortable lives with their new wealth. Others were adventurers attracted to the excitement of a new place. The greater number of these travelers to North and South America did not actually want to settle in the Americas and make the New World their home for good. Instead, they wanted to return to their own home countries after gaining some wealth or making new discoveries. So those were some of the reasons why people traveled to the New World to begin with. They were looking for money and adventure, but they didn't really plan on staying here. Much later, a group of people we call the Pilgrims were looking for a place where they could follow their own religion without being told what to believe by the King of England. Back in England, they were known as separationists who lived in fear of being arrested and thrown in jail for not having the same religious beliefs as their king. In order to meet together and practice their religion without fear, they decided to leave England behind. They hoped that there would be plenty of room in the New World in which to have the freedom to live and practice their religion in their own way. The Pilgrims were not the first settlers in the New World, part of which we now call the United States. They were important, however, because they helped to set an example by doing something new and different. So, what is an immigrant? An immigrant is someone who comes from another country to settle in a new place. Do you remember the question I asked you at the beginning of the lesson? Why might someone leave the home he or she knew and move to an entirely new country? What do you guys think? Reasons why immigrants leave their homes and come to live in a new country are push and pull factors. Push factors are the problems in one's home country that would push you out of your country or make you leave. For many immigrants, money problems, trouble in their home government, and or lack of religious freedom may have pushed people to immigrate or move to a new country. On the other hand, having more freedom and more job opportunities than are available to them in their homelands have pulled or encouraged people to immigrate to the United States of America. There are many freedoms, such as freedom of religion and freedom of speech, that are protected by the American government. These freedoms and other opportunities have attracted people to the United States. Although many immigrants come from different places and come from for many different reasons, they all become part of the United States of America. Americans have come from many nations and have brought many ways of thinking in order to form one nation that allows and encourages different beliefs among people. E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, in Latin, is a good motto for the United States. Remember the coins that I showed you earlier? If you look in the back of any U.S. coin or on the back of any U.S. dollar, you can find this motto. So look at the back right here, this dollar, the $1 bill. E pluribus unum, right there. So it means basically there are many people that come from many different nations and they come to the United States and we become one country. So that's what it means when it says out of many, one. So out of many people that have immigrated from different places, we are one country. Today's Americans are either immigrants themselves or they come from a long line of immigrants before them. This means that most American ancestors were immigrants. In the days ahead, you will hear fascinating stories about some early immigrants. You will also learn more about the enormous risk people took to immigrate to the United States. You will learn about many hardships or difficulties immigrants face when they first arrive in their new country. As you will learn, it's a chance new immigrants are still taking today. So there are still people that are immigrating to the United States for many different reasons, and there are still a lot of risks that are associated with that. Okay, so that is the end of our first lesson. I will come back tomorrow with our second lesson on immigration. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.